Hello there, running-ears. It's Manny, and I had to take advantage. Look at the weather. It's amazing. You can see what's in front of me. I've been doing my runs very, very early in the morning, but they're way too early to record because it is a little bit too dark, especially where I run. And it's probably not the best places to record, at least not for now. I like recording out here, but I had to do this video outside. So I hope you don't mind the scenery. So we are basically less than 2 months away from the marathon. That means we're less than 3 months away from the final Disneyland run for quite a while. Then a few weeks later, about 3 weeks later, we're gonna be going to the Princess. And then of course in April, we finish off with Springtime Surprise. So I thought to myself, we're gonna have a lot of information that's gonna drop the rest of this year. So till the end of December, we're gonna have some information that's gonna drop. So I said, let's go ahead and make a video to go over it and actually go over a few of my goals that I'm planning on doing. But before we do, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. I really do want to do a live video, and I have a feeling I'm going to do a live video very, very soon, possibly even this Sunday, because I have some ideas that might help you guys out in the long run. So if you not already on my Facebook page, Manny Runs Disney, and of course I can also put it on the running-ears page too. But be on the lookout for that, and please subscribe. Hopefully we get to 2,000, and let's move on. So one of the first things that I think is going to drop is going to be the digital event guide for the marathon weekend. I think that's going to drop anywhere between basically now, but I think it's going to be later in November, all the way to like early December. What I am looking forward to most in that drop is going to be the course reveal, because for the marathon, I should say, because we usually run through Animal Kingdom. Not 100% sure we're going to do that again because there's a lot of construction, and one of the major ways that we exit, sorry, there's a plane going overhead, so but anyways, one of the major ways that we exit Animal Kingdom is under construction. Even if they build a little bit of a road, it's still not the most scenic route. I hope we get to run in there, but it's something I'm looking forward to. A lot of people are already speculating, am I gonna be able to go over to Dinosaur, ride it one last time? I don't know. Am I gonna be able to get on Everest and ride it one last time? But that to me is one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to in the digital event guide. So around that same time, I do really think they're going to do the merchandise reveal. Now, always remember this, the merchandise reveal is not all of their merchandise. The sun is coming down so you can see that. That's why I have this low glare. But I think what you should know is that it's not gonna be all of it. We do know we're gonna get the stackable cups because that was basically brought out in the last one. But merchandise reveal should be around the same time. But just to be clear, it's not gonna be all of the merchandise. There's gonna be a lot more to it. And I'll go over that because I am wearing my Coast to Coast shirt. And I'm gonna piggyback on that one when I go over to Disneyland, because I think stuff is going to drop for Disneyland. But one other thing that I think might drop sometime in December. At the latest, it might be a couple of days before, so it might be all the way up to January. Depends on what they want to do. But the Brooks release, I believe it's going to be the same as it's been before. You're going to have the Mickey, you're going to have the Minnie, and you're going to have the race weekend. Those are the three. And they usually been having two that say coming soon. So I think that's they're going to reveal that again sometime in December, maybe a couple of days before the runs. That's going to be one in itself when I think to myself, what can it be? I think a Pluto, a Goofy, I think would be great. A Donald, another one that would be on there, and maybe a castle one. But the castle one I think would be better for Princess. What do you guys think? Because that's a fun game to play. So I think anywhere right after, maybe a few weeks, through 2 to 3 weeks after the digital event guide gets released for the Walt Disney World Marathon, I think we're gonna get the one for Disneyland. Now, the interesting thing there is going to be the course map for the half marathon. The 5K and the 10K are basically gonna be the same as we had before, maybe with a little differences here and there, but on the most part, they should be about the same. The half marathon, where are we gonna run? Are we gonna run through Angel Stadium? Are we gonna go through the pond? And that's where the Anaheim Ducks play. Or is it going to be something totally different? All I ask is make it as memorable as possible, because it's probably going to be 5, 6, 7 years before we get to run at Disneyland again. So please make it memorable, Disney. And around that same time, you know, we're going to get the merchandise reveal, or at least, again, some of the merchandise reveal, which is going to come out for the Dumbo Double Dare. That's the one I'm looking forward to. It's a Small World one. Looks like it's going to have some interesting merchandise there. And like I alluded to before, and I'll talk about it, is the Coast to Coast. If you notice, they had the Coast to Coast medals reveal, or the little emblem, and it's going to be different for 2026, which makes me think that they're going to have merchandise for this. Now, they're going to have merchandise, probably have it at Disneyland. I'm going to assume Princess and Springtime Surprise, but you got to remember, as the year progresses, next year progresses, because you can do Coast to Coast all the way to Wine and Dine, and they released the dates. If you watch my last video, they released the dates. It's back in October again. That's when there's probably less chances of merchandise being out. And the reason that I think that there's going to be a lot less chances is because there's less and less Coast to Coasters there, or the ones that are eligible for Coast to Coast. So they're going to be able to see on their end how many are eligible. And if there's only a couple hundred left, I can see them not really having a lot of merchandise or any merchandise there. So my point is, if you are going to be doing, oh, there you go with the glare. If you are going to be doing Coast to Coast, and you have access to it ahead of time, like at Disneyland, or you know somebody who's going to be going to the races, make sure that you get that as soon as you can, because I have this feeling that later on in the year, they might not have it. Hope that makes sense. Please ask questions down below. If it doesn't, again, this is not I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I just think logically, they're probably going to have a lot less at the end of next year. Now for Princess, I do think that there is going to be something revealed this year. It's not going to be the digital event guide, I don't think. And obviously, if that's the case, then it's not going to have any of the merchandise either. But I do think that we're going to get the medal reveals maybe in late November, early December. If that's the case, maybe by the end of the year we'll get Springtime. But I do think Springtime Surprise might go into next year, so early 2026. But be on the lookout, because I think that they'll do the medal reveals for the Princess coming up. And I'm actually looking forward for the challenge medal. I'm a big Beauty and the Beast fan, so I think that's going to be an amazing one. Now with that said, for Springtime Surprise, I don't think you're going to see anything until 2026. So maybe a surprise here and there, but I don't think we're going to see anything for Springtime Surprise until next year. Now I do think there's going to be an outside chance that we will get the calendar for the 2026-2027 season sometime later this year. I think by early next year we will get it for sure, but that's going to have registration dates, so forth and so on. And but remember, it's all going to be Disney World as of now. Fingers crossed, maybe they throw a curveball and they announce Disneyland Paris. I still think that one's a year or two away from being announced if it comes back, but I do think they'll come back. I just don't think it's going to be sooner than later. But that's a curveball. So I think that by the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, we will have the reveal for the 2026-2027 season and when the registration dates are going to come up. Now with that said, and to piggyback on the great day and the great running weather, I've actually kicked up my training. I've been doing pretty well with my training. I hope you guys are doing so also. So I started thinking, I got to update my goals now as far as the runs are concerned. So one thing is my weight, and I am down to consistently being under 190 pounds. I go all the way down to about 186, then go back up to about 188. But by the time Walt Disney World Marathon comes around, I really would like to be under 180, closer to 175. I just feel a lot better. It's just making me feel so good. And a lot of it has to do with my training, how I up my training, and cleaning up my eating, drinking a lot more water. I'm gonna go over my preliminary goals for marathon weekend, starting with the 5K. 5K is very, very simple. I usually just start in the back and I just go with the flow. I don't go very hard at all. It's just a run. I'm gonna try to get some group pictures if I can. It's a lot of fun doing that one, getting to see, especially a lot of the young Run Disney, the up-and-comers, the ones that are gonna take our place in a few years. I like to see them out there and enjoying themselves, having fun. Runners with special abilities, I love watching them. I think it's a great thing, and I'm just gonna have fun. Now here goes where I'm gonna try to get a little bit faster. I'm right now, as of now, unless something changes, I think I'm gonna push the 10K again. And if everything works out well, then I am gonna try to break my time from last time, which was 1:14, according to their watch, 1:13 plus mine. I'm actually gonna even try to see if I can break 1 hour and 10 minutes, fingers crossed. The half marathon, I'll push, I call the half or quarter push, so I'm gonna push a little bit, at least as of now. I might stay in the back a little bit longer, but for the full marathon, I really do want to stay in the back and be one of the last to finish, because I do want that goal of mine, that getting as many people as we can, getting everybody that we can to finish. I want that to become a reality, and so I'm gonna do my part to see if we can get that done. Now for the 5K, I had said before in one of my other videos, I was gonna try to do something a little bit new, a little bit different. I had some plans and stuff, and I'm working on this, and I'm gonna start working on it a little bit stronger once we get to like mid-December. And I would love to get one representative from every charity out there, and I've already gotten a handful of them to say okay, to have a representative that's gonna be wearing their shirt, somebody representing them. And during the 5K, since it's not time and I'm turning around, during the 5K, I really would like for us to stop and in front of Spaceship Earth and get a picture with one representative from every charity and share it with Run Disney. I've already talked to them. They're really looking forward to if we can do this. Now, one thing I'm gonna just talk about that can help you guys out is my goals are gonna be a lot different. And so this is something that could help you guys out, is now I have to train as if, you know, to basically mimic my goals. So the 5K is easy. I do light jogs all the time for 3 miles, not a problem. Then I'm gonna have to do a second day where I'm gonna have to push it, and I'm gonna have to push it a little bit harder. Then the third day, I am going to do a long run to where I actually slow it down a little bit more, or a lot more, I should say. And then even a fourth day where I do an equally long run, maybe a little bit more, to where, again, I slow it down a lot. And my reasoning for talking about this is because, you know, a lot of you guys are out there and you ask a lot of questions. Remember this, the training is your homework. You mimic what you do so you can take that final exam and you can be as best prepared as possible. So what you want to do is make sure, just like I'm going to do this, you're going to do this also. A good 3 or 4 weeks before should be the last really hard run. If you still don't feel comfortable, it's really up to you. But I think like 3 weeks before, you should really start tapering down. You got to save your legs. You can save your legs from not only the energy, but getting hurt. Because especially if you're doing a dopey challenge or a marathon or a goofy challenge, those are difficult. They're not going to be easy. They're a lot of fun, and you're going to be doubting yourself a lot of times, going like, why did I sign up? I'll never do this again and stuff. And then all of a sudden, you decide, okay, I'm gonna do it again next year. But you're gonna go through the highs and lows. But this is the time that you make your mistakes and you learn from them. So that's it for this video, but I do think there's a good chance that I'm gonna go on live this coming Sunday, which I believe is the 16th. So I'm gonna go live on YouTube this Sunday. Unless something changes, please be looking out for my Facebook page, Instagram, anything like that. I'll be posting on this, but I look at going live at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's gonna be 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific. And I am gonna try to do a little bit more of coaching during that time. So bring your questions about training, nutrition, whatever it is. I can't get into specifics because I'm not a doctor, and I'm turning just so I won't get the sun in my face, but I can at least give you some advice on what has worked for me in the past or what has worked for other people. Remember, I'm a certified running coach. I haven't really practiced it, but I'm thinking about going back in and doing one-on-one training. That's something that I'll talk about this coming Sunday. Fingers crossed that I'll be able to do it, but it looks like I think I'm going to at least try to do this. But besides that, please ask any questions down below. Are you guys looking forward to, I think the main one is gonna be the digital event guide is running through Animal Kingdom. Are you gonna be disappointed if we don't? So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for sticking with me. And I know the sun is coming down over here, nice and cool right now. But without further ado, create a magical day, create a magical run. And guys, we will see you sooner than later.